Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be replacing a crank sensor on a Vauxhall Corsa 2014. This is the Corsa D. It's about 6-year-old. What's happening is the car isn't starting. So when you turn the ignition on, the engine is just turning over and nothing's happening. It's not trying to fire. There doesn't appear to be any fuel going in. So that is generally what the crank sensor does. That's a new crank sensor ready to go in. The crank sensor is situated on the gearbox side of the engine. Now on earlier models like the 1.3 CD Ti, the crank sensor is actually on the front of the engine, so it's a bit easier to get to. So if you're a bit of a DIY mechanic, you will need like a jack, or you can use the car jack. You will also need some axle stands, and you'll need the E11 torque bit there, because you'll need that. There's one of them in that's holding this crank sensor in place. So like I say, what we need to do is get underneath the car. What I'll do is I'll show you where it is, and then we'll start removing it. Just give us a minute to get the camera sorted out. So there you see, just let the camera focus a bit. There we go, the camera's focusing now. So there you see the trolley jack, what we used to jack it up with, and we've got it on 2 axle stands underneath to give us a bit of clearance to get underneath. So what we'll do now is get underneath the car. So like I said, this is in an extremely awkward position, so we could just focus that a bit, and maybe just, you can just about see it there. That's the one we need to get to. Let's see if we could go from the top. Probably just about see that at the top there. No, we can't get to it there. So you can see the little torque setting. Let me focus the camera a bit again. It's get the light. I need to get some light on that. There's not a lot of room down here when you're working on your drive. So there it is. There, it's just a little bit out of focus. There we go, got the crank sensor there. You can see the torque nut, that is what we need to remove. And there's also a plug on the back. So this is above the prop shaft here. So we're underneath the car now. So that's not easy to get to. Now you can just about see it from behind the prop shaft there. So what we'll need to do, I'll have to turn the camera off and get this out, because I haven't got enough room for the camera as well. But that is where the sensor is, and that is what you need to remove. So this is the crank sensor. I've finally got it. I took a bit of wiggling, I had to get my hand over the top of the prop shaft there, and a bit of a screwdriver as well, and I managed to get that wiggled out. It came out quite easily, to be honest. Now some of them are really tough. You have to use some WD-40 or some lubricant on them, and you should be alright to get it back out. Now this is, like I say, is a 2014 car, so it's about 6-7 year old, so it's been well maintained as well, so it's quite easy to get out. It's just in a very awkward position to get to. A really ridiculous place to put it, to be honest, but I didn't design the car, so I'm not bothered. We'll get this new one back on and then give it a try. There you can see just about, that's the new crank sensor in position and bolted back in. So what we'll do now is give it a try. Hopefully this will work. So we'll just try this now. There we go. Everything lights up.